I never thought in my life I would get here. But today when I have audience whistling for me, I feel like I've made it. In those 3-4 minutes, of course, people call me the expression queen. So might as well make a use of it, no? Pushes us to the cliff. Now, I think all of us will have a wait, hold on. You keep quiet moment. Imagine who has the guts and the power to, and the alpha-ness to wear a sari, dance in a sari, do an action in a sari, have a talky portion in a sari, and 21 minutes of a film he's in a freaking sari. Like, tell me what man can do that? So now that I got all these claps and whistles, now like I'm going to make sure that I will work myself for this to happen. I'm telling you, it's before Pushpa and after Pushpa for me. My life is like that.
Become a real.
She looks cute with Vijay Deverakonda.
I make the money like magic.
And since it's been a while, I'm a little nervous, but I hope today goes well.
Ladies, pump that volume louder. Lady wolf pack on a whole nother level.
Put your hands together with the loudest cheer for Rashmika Mandanna.
Play the game, never settle. Savage as they come, gang of female rebels.
So, welcome to the Pinkvilla Masterclass, Rashmika. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you. So good to be here.
Congratulations. You must be on cloud 9 after what has happened over the last 4 days, 5 days.
Yeah, I think instead of being on cloud 9, I'm actually like, okay, so much I've received now. What next? What can I do next? How can I keep this up, and how can I better the craft? You know, it's honestly that's what is going on in my head right now.
Expectations have.
Yeah. As in, I feel like it's responsibility, and I want to like not disappoint anyone with my craft, and with me being in a film. So I'm just like, okay, I hope all the films which I've already shot, I hope they're good enough, like my performance in them. And next is, okay, now because I've received all this love, what are the choices of scripts to take up next? I'm an overthinker, so there's a lot going on in my head right now.
But Rashmika, the first week of December has been phenomenal. Actually, phenomenal is an understatement. Has been mammoth for you. Last year in December it was Animal.
Yeah.
And this year in December it is Pushpa 2. Does it feel special? Is like, how do you view the month of December?
Yes, truly feels special. Yeah, I think like my first film released on December 30th or 31st. And since then, I've had a film named Chamak in Kannada, and then Pushpa 1, Animal, Pushpa 2. So I feel like I have some special connection with the month December. Now, my fear is also that next any film releasing in December, I'm like, oh my God, that's like, okay, I hope it's good, and I hope it makes the impact the films so far have done.
I think all the producers will now plan their releases with you for this.
Yeah, now see, I can't take so much stress also in life.
But Rashmika, if we look at your journey, it has been like, for everyone to see. You started off and you became a national crush immediately, like from there. And over the years, people have recognized the actor in you, like be it Animal, be it Pushpa. People are speaking about your performance as well. How do you view this transition which has happened from the beginning of your career till now, where now people are appreciating the actor in you?
See, one thing I have to definitely mention is that I don't come from any background of cinema at all. Keep it a film background or anyone in theatre. I've never done theatre in my life. So for me, like just acting was so new. Of course, in school, you perform and dance, and I was a classical dancer in school, and that's about it, when it came to performance. So that was the only exposure that I had to any extracurricular activities. But I think everything I learned as an actor was me on the sets of every film that I've been a part of. So for me, the last 8 years have constantly been a learning phase. And today, to be in a spot where I've gotten one scene, I've gotten this part of Pushpa where I'm playing Shivalli, and people today are comfortable enough to whistle and hoot for me, for my character in the film. So that I feel like as a graph, as an actor, is is amazing. I feel like I never thought in my life I would get here, but today when I have audience whistling for me, I feel like I've made it. Like, this gives me absolute satisfaction. Thank you. Thank you.
And the live claps as well.
Oh, it's the most beautiful feeling. I feel like every day that I've sort of found hard, and I used to keep telling myself that it's all going to be worth it. And when that moment I saw the recording of people just hooting and screaming for me when I was present on screen, I think that was a moment I was like, okay, this is why I worked so hard all these years. This is the reason why,
You are here.
Yeah.
But actually that was my next question. In Pushpa 2, a scene which stands out is your monologue with, I think, the brother-in-law, Chachu.
Yeah.
Where you have that outburst of emotion and then you walk towards Pushpa and you're like, Chalo Sami. Like that's there's that sudden shift of your expression from being aggressive to showing that caring side for Pushpa.
Correct.
What was the process of shooting that entire sequence and what was the ambience like on the set? Because that is one of the most key moments. Like that is among the key moments of the film. So what was it like to shoot it?
I remember when I started shooting for Pushpa 2, Sukumar sir, the director of the film, came and told me that, see, Shivalli has this arc, but she has one high moment in the film. And like when the time comes, we'll talk about it, but you have to perform. That is your performance. And I used to always be curious. And when the Jathara sequence, of course, it's 21 minutes or 20 minutes of the film. So the shoot went on for like 3-4 months, actually, the whole bit of it. But like when we came to this scene, he gave me the script, and the thing is, he's not a man who, has a bound script. He's a man who figures everything as he goes by, right? So, like the day came where, it was time for this scene, and suddenly he was like, okay, now we have to get on to this scene. And we were figuring out the lines, right, as we went by. And suddenly, okay, discussions were and everything, we figured it out. This is the scene. And suddenly I had 3-4 pages of only me speaking, right? So for me, I'm a interactive actor. So for me, if I'm performing with you, I will say my line and I will listen to you and I'll react to my next line based on how you react. Yeah. So I'm a very interactive actor. I strive in my co-star's energy. So suddenly here's a scene where nobody is saying anything and she's just going on and on and on and on. And of course, with, the my brother-in-law in the film from part 1 has been irritating Pushpa with the family name. I knew that, okay, here's a moment that she gets to stand up. So I completely wanted people to believe and sort of root for Pushpa and Srivalli at the moment. So I'm like, okay, you have 4 pages of dialogue. How do you sort of make people curious to see how she's going to react next in those 4 pages, in those 3-4 minutes? So now from anger, she has outburst, and at the same time, she just announced, she just figured out she's pregnant, and so she's tired also, she's doing that. And then the mother is saying, take it light, and then she's like, you shut up, ma. What do you know? Of course. And then her mother-in-law is saying, respect elders. And she's like, you can keep quiet, but someone says something about my husband, I will not keep quiet. So there are these beliefs that she has, but at the same time, there's these moments where she's laughing. At the same time, there's moments where she's crying. At the same time, she might, anyone says anything to her husband or about her husband, she will not keep quiet. That is most of us women. That is most of us men and women. When someone says something about our partners, we don't like it. Of course, we will not keep quiet. And at the same time, she loves and respects Pushpa so much that she literally considers him God. Again, how we normally are with our partners. Like our partners for us is God. Like we respect and love and nurture them so much that we keep them at that high pedestal, right? So there's this whole moment happening, and I wanted to sort of use that scene and wanted to make an impact. So, how in those 3-4 minutes, of course, people call me the expression queen, so might as well make a use of it, no? So, like from being anger to exhaustion to anger to sadness to laughter to like, you mess with me, I'm going to give you tenfolds back, to that, everything. Na? So, I had 3 minutes to convey it all. And I think that's what people are liking today, because they don't get to see, like, I don't think I'll ever get to perform in the way that I did, because nobody would get me a situation like this. But this was the time where I got to do it, and I did it. So I feel like I'm really grateful for it. Thank you.
But the theater reaction in this scene were priceless. Like, I watched it once in a multiplex and once in a single screen over here. People are reacting, like how over here people clapped. There are claps and whistles all through that sequence. So I think that's the biggest validation that you can get as a performer as well, when people
Yes. Yeah. As in, all of us live for it, right? Like when you're doing a theater performance, if you can make your audience clap for you at that moment, it gives you such a high that the next scene you do it better. So now that I got all these claps and whistles, now like I'm going to make sure that I will work myself for this to happen. Happen once, twice, tenfolds, anything, but I'll work for this. Now, this is my motivation.
True, but Rashmika, you had a monologue in Animal as well, and now you had monologue over here. What parallels you draw between the two? Both happen somewhere in middle of the second half, and there is a scenario where you have to express your angst.
I think it comes with the cinema, it comes with the story. Nobody writes thinking that, okay, we need to give her a monologue here, so we'll write the story accordingly. It just comes in the story. The thing is, if you're able to deliver a monologue like that, the director will be comfortable to go full on and say, okay, this girl can deliver, so we'll write it this way. If I wasn't able to deliver the same way, they'd probably take the same thing in a different manner. But I got the opportunity in both my biggest films in my career to deliver such a performance. I think it was definitely not planned, but at the same time, I'm glad I got it. And I'm glad that I worked with directors who pushed me to do something which I thought was impossible of me.
But another parallel that I draw from the two films about your character is that your character has a sense of power, because there are these macho characters, be it Ranvijay Singh or Pushpa, who are vulnerable when it comes to your character. Do you see that sense of power in your character when you're hearing it? That
See, like I take my characters to be very human. Like example, if I put you in a situation where I push you to the corner, and either you have to stand up for yourself or you have to stand up to your for your partner, but you have no other choice but to do that. You will stand up. You will express yourself in a way that you never thought you could. Like I, in my entire life, have never raised my voice. The first time I actually raised my voice was Animal, Geetanjali's character. And that's when I figured out that I had this voice to raise. Because like suddenly I was like, where is this voice coming from? I didn't think I was capable of this. Suddenly when, Srivalli, I remember the day of the shoot that day, like while rehearsing, you're talking to the director personally, na? Like one-on-one. So you're talking, even if you're doing your rehearsal, you're not giving 100%. You're like, okay, sir, this is how I'm going to say, this is what I'm going to say. Suddenly, when the action was called off, and I'm like, yo, when I started off that, there was pin drop silence. Because, see, one thing is nobody expects a character which is so mellow and so endearing and so loving to raise her voice like that. But the second she raises her voice, no, you get pin drop silence from everyone. And imagine there were like some 500 people on floor that day, and everyone were like zilch, like not a pin drop silent. So I felt like when you use your voice as your power, you need to choose well where you want to use it. If you're all the time screaming,
No one will.
yeah, it doesn't hold power. The power comes in one, silence, if you want to go that way. Otherwise, if you're silent throughout, when you outburst, no, and if you get that moment to outburst, no, you will have everyone's silence.
That's true. I think basically use your words wisely. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
and also like we're all human. Like whilst we have a very soft side to us, if someone throws like pushes us to the cliff, na, I think all of us will have a macha. Wait, hold on. You keep quiet moment.
That's true. But Rashmika, there is the song which has become a rage, that is Angaaron.
Yeah.
For me, the most beautiful part of that song was we didn't know how it will play
I
out.
know. I think that's the fun of it. Like I think that's what because when the song released, I was like, because I had seen what we had shot, right? So I was like, why aren't they releasing the song? It's massive. It's so beautiful. The choreography is amazing. Like, but why aren't you showing people the visuals? But today, when we get the reaction from the theater, we are like, okay.
So, but how was the experience of shooting for that entire song? I think we have not seen visuals like this in a song in longest time, or probably never. I don't know. At least in last 15 years, I have not seen such kind of visuals.
Yeah.
What was it like shooting for it? And when the lyrical came out with some BTS videos,
Yeah.
how did you react? Like, were you anxious that why this? Why not the actual visuals?
No, see, when you're already making a film like Pushpa, which is so unconventional because, see, it's a film where you have the class and the mass in the same space. Like, it's a very thin line. It can go too much this, too much that. And the only man who can pull something off is Sukumar sir. It's incredible how what a genius he is. And with so much conviction, only actor who can do this is Allu Arjun sir. Like, I don't think I will ever in my life witness what he's done in terms of. Imagine who has the guts and the power to, and the alpha-ness to wear a sari, dance in a sari, do an action in a sari, have a talky portion in a sari, and 21 minutes of a film he's in a freaking sari. Like, tell me what man can do that? I think he has won my absolute respect and absolute love when he did that. And for life, I'm just going to be rooting for him. I'm always going to pray and wish well for him. It's incredible, no? Like, it's amazing.
That scene is like outstanding. Like, I was watching the film at the media screening and I felt like standing up and clapping, which I did eventually when I watched it in Gaiety.
Yeah, it's incredible. And the first day, I watched the film with him, and for the first time, I watched the visuals because I'm not an actor who will go to the monitor constantly and check myself or check performances or something. I'm not that person. But for the first time, when I watched it in the theater, I was like, I'm generally when I watch mass films, now I watch like a mass audience also. Like, I'll whistle, I'll dance, I will scream, I will shout, I'll do all of that. But for the first time, I was so fascinated that I just sat there and I was like, what is going on? Like, I feel like it was something which, first of all, I didn't even dream of. And secondly, being a part of a film this euphoric, it just sends you to a place where it's something else, and that's when I realized that this is cinema, this is why we make films, this is what it is, this is, I don't know, I was just mind blown with my own film.
If it's a film like Pushpa, I think anyone would be mind blown by
Yeah,
their own
yeah.
work.
It deserves. I think Sukumar sir, the leader, the man who has envisioned all of this. My God, what is this?
yeah, what follows the song is the entire Jatra action sequence. Were you on the set when that sequence was shot? How did you?
Yes, I was. And the thing now with Pushpa action, everything actually, what we've shot with Pushpa, even the small scene where, okay, example, one character is moving from point A to point B. We will take a whole entire day to shoot that. Because I've been on set where sometimes we shoot 4 scenes in one day because we're like, quick, 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 quick. And suddenly here's a man, a director, who's like, he's walking from point A to point B, but I'm focused on how his hair strands are also moving. You know, he's that kind of a perfectionist, and you can see it in cinema today. So imagine a space like that, you have to do action. The n number of days we were shooting the action, the n number of days we were shooting the song. I think we were shooting the song like some 40 days or something. And it's not a like very like Peelings for me is a much more complicated song to shoot. But Peelings we've done it in 4 days. This song took 40 days or something. So I was like, okay, so this is how Pushpa shoots. But I'm telling you, it's before Pushpa and after Pushpa for me. My life is like that.
That's true. I'm thinking about that entire sequence all over again, and I feel like watching it once.
Yeah. I was just so spellbound, and I was like, also think about this, guys. Like, okay, here's like, okay, the pregnancy thing happened. I'm sorry if I'm giving any spoilers, but the pregnancy thing happens, and then he goes on to putting the like avatar
Yeah.
because he wants to pray to God about something, and he gets into a sari, right? So after that happens, his song bit, like what was that? Like I saw the rehearsal video of a dancer who's doing this, and I was spellbound even then. I was like, how are you guys going to shoot this? What is going on? And then that happened, and then came one small talky bit, and immediately came the song. Like, do you realize that like that's never happened in, like, at least as far as I remember, song after a song? That is already one genius move with Sukku sir, right? And then comes the fight, and then comes the scene. So it's like a whole roller coaster ride happening right there.
Yeah, it's a 22 minutes of non-stop
Highs.
highs.
Yeah. It's
But,
crazy.
yeah. But you know, Pushpa, the core conflict of Pushpa is about ego of two people, two strong-headed people fighting against each other for ego. According to you, what importance does ego hold in one life? How important is it to have ego, but in right amount, probably?
See, I'll just quote my mom on this. She didn't know anything about Pushpa. She didn't know what we were shooting there. Of course, my parents are not involved in my films or my career at all. And I like it that way. It's a choice that I made. But she told me that the only thing differentiating me with you or me with any of you is our egos, good or bad, because we're all eating the same food from this world, we're breathing the same air, we come from the same root, right? But the only thing difference is your ego and my ego. And like for me, I found that absolutely fascinating because that is so true. Like the way you think and I think is completely different because of the experiences and the upbringing that we've had in everything which ego was involved, you know. So today when we have made a film of just this small concept, simple concept of I won't say sorry and I want him to say sorry, right? I think that's mind blowing. If you can take something like that and make a film like this, like what greater talent than that? Like think about it. Like for me, I know, like of course when you make a cinema you have to have that story, this story, mind blowing story. But in the end of the day, we're all humans. We have told all stories. We have so many films coming out every year, pretty much every Friday, that it all depends on you have one story. How differently do you say it? How big or small you say it? I think that's what the game is about.
True, absolutely. That I mean, there are limited stories in the world which you present it differently based on, like, every filmmaker will have a different take on the same story. That's how things work.
Correct. A boy meets a girl, girl and boy fall in love, they have a fight, they split and they come together. That is cinema. But how differently do you present the same story? Make cinema.
But Rashmika, have you ever encountered a scenario in your life where either you were denied a photo by someone or vice versa?
I denied a photo with someone, I don't know, but I feel like it's unfair to deny a photo to someone because I feel like today I am who I am because of the love that I receive, and I'm very well aware of it. And I respect everyone's time, everyone's effort. Of course, when you're running into place, and of course the flights are not going to wait for you, so you're like, sorry, 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 I'm just going to go finish that off. But I feel like that's really not nice, and I try my best to give as many give my little time to whoever wants them or ask for it. But I feel like, see, there's one thing I go by in my personality, right? I can't be mean. I don't want to be mean because that's a choice that I made. Because I feel like all of us are fighting our own battles. And I don't want to be a strain in your life. If I'm talking to you, if I'm, if you're giving me your time and your, presence, I just want to make you smile. And that is something which I think from day one, I've sort of stood by. And I think that's never going to change. It's somehow like, yeah, it's just engraved in me.
And that's a amazing, quality to have, actually. Very few have it. So, yeah.
Oh no, I stand by it, and yeah, life is hard as it is. Yeah, you don't want one more addition to go on it. Like, might as well make it as, make another person's life as easy as possible.
But between fame and money, what would you choose and why?
For me, I feel like fame is people's love. If that's what it is, then I choose fame. Money is definitely very, very important, and we all work for our bread and butter. But for me, I think I've come to this comfortable space where I am greedy for all of my audience's love, and I'll work my tail off for their love.
But is there a price that one pays for fame?
Yes. For me, of course, I can speak only for myself. And the price to pay is example, like the few days where I have to do double shift, right? And we work 12 hours. So like for 5-6 days in a row, you don't sleep. And that really affects your health. Don't do this, guys. Don't do this, cutie. Like, never lose sleep, okay? And all of you. But it starts affecting you. And then there are days like when you really crave for something, when you want to go eat some burger or pani puri or dahi puri or something, you can't. Because that's something you have to sacrifice to look a certain way on screen. Of course, nobody is asking us to do it. It's a personal choice. But of course, like, audience will want you to look good because they want to feel good looking at you. So I think that's very important. And like example, right now, Pushpa team had a dinner, like intimate dinner, with just the team. But I couldn't go because I'm sitting here like for work. So those are the small things that you have to miss out on, but you feel bad. But you know that today we're all riding on success and happiness and smiles on all of their faces. And even if you can't be there, you know that you have contributed your thing. And yeah. Oh, thank you. I feel bad, yeah, guys. I wanted to go yesterday.
No, but there is a certain kind of clarity that you have in the way you want to lead your life. I think that's amazing thing because that reflects in your work as well, the kind of choices that you are making and everything. You're clear what you want to do, what you don't want to do, how you want to do things and how not.
Correct. So like, see, I was someone who never thought or dreamt of being an actor. Being an actor happened by chance, by God's grace, that I got this opportunity. Like, my first team saw me in a beauty pageant, which my HOD at the time had forced me to do. So I was a very shy person, and I was a person who could never say no. So I would just be like, "Ha, ma'am, for you, okay, ma'am, okay, ma'am, okay, ma'am, okay, ma'am," just like okay for everything. But it got me to where I am today. Of course, a lot of trouble and problems along the way of, unable to say no gets you into trouble also, but does a lot of good things also. So today, I feel like right now I'm having this confidence of, okay, this is the person I am today, and I'm very proud of the person who I've turned out to be. And this is the person who I've always wanted to be. So when I'm this person, I'm happy with myself, I'm content with myself, and I know, okay, this is the boundaries that I have for myself. This is how much I'll push my boundaries for whoever I choose to push boundaries for. So, like, I feel like with working in the industry for so long, or meeting so many people on a daily basis and receiving all the love, no, sort of gets you to a point where you tell yourself that it's okay to be confident, it's okay to have an opinion, it's okay to sort of, you know, teach your learnings to someone else. It's okay. Because I'm 28 years old today. But all these years, I used to keep thinking that I'm too young to have an opinion. Because I came from that learning. Like, having an opinion was like, how can she have an opinion? What does she know? She's still a small child. But today I'm 28 and I've been able to do something which people dream of today, which means I'm doing something right. And if I, a girl from Cook, can do it, anyone can do it. So I'm like, I know how to go by it. I can like guide you the right way. I have the opinions or things to say that I have done in my life. If you take an inspiration of it, go for it. Because I know it's safe. I will not tell you or do something to you which is not safe for you. So I think it also comes with experience.
True. But when we talk of the thoughts or clarity of thoughts, what are the green flags that you look for in while choosing your scripts?
See, like, just because I have success in one part of the country, example, I'm from the south. I've worked in the south for the last 7-8 years. Now I'm in Hindi, and I'm doing northern region ka films. Now the thing is, just because I'm from south, I've come to the north, I will never let my south wail away. I will still do south cinema. Just because I am from the south, I will not take Hindi for granted. I will do Hindi cinema. At the same time, because I'm doing films in Telugu and Hindi, I will not let Tamil audience go. Nor will I let Kannada audience go. I'm someone who does not take these things for granted. I know this is really hard to get, and I will work, like, if I have to work 10 days back to back without sleep, I will still work it, because that's the love I'm getting, and that is my responsibility to give to my audience. I will do a Tamil film, I will do a Telugu film, I will do a Hindi film, I will do every film that my audience want me to do. Because a lot of times, what happens is, when you have a reach of a pan India, you're like, okay, fine, now I'll do a Hindi film. Now everyone in the country will watch it. I don't want to think like that. I will still go down and do a Tamil film. I will still go down and do a Telugu film. I will still do a Malayalam and Kannada film. And I will come here and I'll do probably a Bengali film or a Marathi film. Why? Why put boundaries on myself? Right?
Keep learning. By doing different language, you keep learning as well.
And the thing is, I'm not someone who wants to let go. I don't like letting go. If someone trusts me and if someone has faith in me, I don't like letting them down. So I will, even if I overwork myself, that is the love that I'm receiving, and it's my responsibility to give them the love back.
But hypothetically, if today Pushpa was to be made with anyone else apart from Allu Arjun, you think that is possible, and who do you think can?
I think, see, Pushpa is a very character driven cinema. It's about what Pushpa, the character, is thinking. Sukumar sir, being the genius that he is, if someone else had done Pushpa, he would have crafted it that way. Right? Today, because Allu Arjun sir has done Pushpa, he's crafted it to Allu Arjun sir. The mannerisms, the body language. Allu Arjun sir is a dancer. So he has the rhythm in his body. So he's played with the rhythm. You know, I think that's a brilliance of a director who can sort of form the craft and make cinema which is so character driven. He just sort of, you know, envelops around the actor. He sees, okay, how is Allu Arjun sir moving? Okay, so he did this. Okay, this can become a mannerism. So for me, Srivalli, I don't know if you guys have realized, but in real life, I just have a thing of biting my lip. So I keep doing that when I'm thinking. So he saw this and he's like, use this as a character. So I'm like, what are you saying? That looks so off now on camera. Like it's strange. But he's like, no, Srivalli does that. So he envelops the characters of like the real characters into being a part of you, or brings you like a part of you to the real characters. So I think that's the beauty of a director.
That's the culmination, basically, of
And how well he does it. My
Absolutely.
God.
How did that come into picture?
So I don't remember if I was on set that day, but what I heard was, like, of course, guys who have like long beard sort of like keeps doing something like that. You know, it's a very normal thing. But like Sukku sir apparently once saw Allu Arjun sir do something like this, and he's like, do that again. And Allu Arjun sir is like, what? Do what again? So he's like, that thing with the beard. So that's how it just came into play like that. It's as normal and simple as that. And look at the power it has today.
Yeah, it has become a rage. Yeah, it has become a rage. The dialogue, the
Fully.
mannerisms, and
Fully.
everything. Yeah. And Rashmika, you know, next up for you is Chhaava. I have been privileged to see some things about the film. I've seen
Yeah?
the trailer.
What do you
and
think?
It's outstanding.
Yeah, na?
Like
Even I
the
thought so.
visuals, the way that world has been created. It looks so grand and so authentic. Could you tell us something about that film? It's of course a biopic. So could you tell us something on?
I think what I can start with is the first narration of Chhaava I heard. Like, of course, the team, like the direction team and the film team were in touch with my managers, and they called me into the office, and suddenly, like, they told me this script, and of course, they told me who it is about, and that is something like it's a huge. And for me, in my head, I'm thinking, I'm from South. How can you think about me playing a Maharashtrian queen? Okay, everything that you're doing, okay, fine, I get it, everything that you're describing. But let me just ask you this basic question. Me? How? What is going on? But the second I heard the script, no, for the first time in my life, I didn't take a second to say yes. I heard the script, I'm just sitting there, and he's not even finished the last bit, right? He's not even finished, and I'm like, sir, I'm doing it. And I was surprised with myself because never before in my life, I'm a very picky person when it comes to like scripts, right? I'm like, no, I don't know, but okay, this region, okay, this audience, okay, now how do I go about it? Should I do it? Should I not do it? I'm very, like, I think, I'm an overthinker. So Chhaava is the only film that I was like, okay, sir, I'll do it. Okay, so what next do we do? What do we do? This. And when the look test came, oh my God, guys, like, I am mind blown of me in the film. Like, I'm like, this is how I can look. Like Vicky, I think once said, she looks more Maharashtrian than a Maharashtrian. It actually is true because suddenly my features, my body language, my everything changed. I'm like, this is the power of like just creating a character. And the thing is, see, Yesubai doesn't have a visual reference. We don't know how she used to behave, what she used to do, how she used to rule. She's a warrior queen. Like, how do you be that? But I think we've achieved it. And Chhaava, guys, it's going to be magical, yeah. Like it's yay! I'm glad. I want to now. Thank you.
Really looking forward to that one.
It's you also tell them that it's going to be
Yeah, it's going to be. You all should wait for the trailer. Whenever it drops, it's going to
yeah,
blow your.
I watched the trailer and I watched one song, okay. My God. Like Vicky in the film, guys, let's just give that a moment. Vicky has killed it. And Lakshman sir has killed it. My God, I can't. I'm all gushing all over like their craft. Like it's amazing.
Can't wait to watch that
Me
magic.
too, me
Yes.
too.
And then you are unstoppable. Just 2 months after Chhaava is Sikandar with Salman Khan.
Yeah,
which-
yeah.
How has that experience of shooting been?
Nerve wracking. Of course, yeah, he's Salman Khan. Like, oh my God. But that is the first like commercial Bollywood film that I'll be doing. And I've never done it. All my Hindi films have got like some sort of a performance oriented sort of screenplay. But this is the first time I'm actually going to become a heroine. Like a full heroine types. so I'm really excited. And the thing is, see, I'm not someone who wants to be typecasted. I don't want to be taken only for performances. I want to be, a part of full-blown commercial cinema as well. And I know that I want people to know that they can bank on me for that as well. So I like doing that. I like doing this. I like doing them all. And I will convince people that I enjoy doing them all.
I'm sure it's a different ball game altogether when you do those commercial entertainer, which is, and over here you have A.R. Murugadoss sir, who is known for Gajni and Holiday and so many more. So
Oh, like Murugadoss sir is very specific on what he wants, and it's super fun to watch him work. Like it's amazing. I'm so excited. Guys, again, I'm telling you, this is a full-fledged Bollywood heroine types. Okay, you guys have to be okay with it because you guys have seen me perform. Watch this as like one easy entertainment.
yes,
Yeah.
looking forward. Eid.
Yeah, it's going to be a celebration again. Thank you, Swami. Thank you.
And Rashmika, there is horror. You are entering the horror comedy universe as well. After Stree and Munja and Bedia, and now it's time for Thamma, which you are doing in the universe
I
with
know.
Ayushmann.
I know. Oh, that's going to be incredible, yeah, guys. I'm going to be flying around. I'm so excited. But of course, with the world that he's creating, and it's not normal in our country where, of course, you have the spy universe, you have like all of this, but a universe like this, which is so like so different, that fascinated me. I'm like, okay, so they're creating everything from a root, right? Yeah. They're like imagining things, convincing people to believe those things actually can exist. It's film for kids, and I love making film for kids. Like they're the best audience. Like when they like having fun, they're calling their parents to go watch the film in the theater. I think that's joy for me. So this is going to be a film for them, and like, oh, it's going to be mad. I'm starting shoot tomorrow actually.
Oh wow, tomorrow is your first
Yeah,
day.
I'm starting Thamma tomorrow.
Wow.
I know. Guys, wish me luck. I'm so nervous.
That's going to be fun. That's a new world altogether for you as an actor as well.
Yeah. Completely new world, no? Because it's got a lot of like performance with like as an actor with your face and your emotions is one thing, but physically, like doing all the crazy things is another thing. And I get to do it. And I think I've manifested Thamma in my life as well. Because I wanted to do like something which is action, something which is like fun, and something like, and I'm getting that quirky. Thank you.
And Rashmika, there is one film which the world is waiting for. That is Animal Park.
Yeah.
2 days back, Ranbir in an interview said that it's a trilogy.
Even that was news to me, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, RK, did you just make that up or did Sandeep actually tell you? But it's exciting. Of course, now we all know Animal Park is coming, and like after Animal though, to up the game, it's Vanga sir's full, like he has to do his magic. But he had once like one liner about the film, and it blew my mind at the moment when I heard it, the second he told me. And I don't know if he's changed a thing, but I just know that it's going to be madness all over again. I love it. I love working with Sandeep sir and RK. They're full must there.
Too much of passion on one set. One, like yourself and Ranbir and Sandeep Reddy Vanga.
I think it's more about how crazy can we go. It's like, the thing is, my trainer used to tell me, the problem with you is not getting you to work out. The problem is stopping you from working out. Here it is like, we're all going guns full blazing out. And the thing is, okay, how much do we actually need? Okay, hold on a second, hold it back, It's that.
Yeah. And in middle of all this, you are doing a very, how do I say? I think, is it your first female-led
Oh,
film?
yes,
Which is
yes.
you launched the teaser recently, which is
Yes.
Girlfriend.
Yeah,
How
yeah, yeah.
excited are you for that?
As in, it's very exciting for me as an actor, because whilst I do a Srivalli, whilst I do a Geetanjali, whilst I do a Chhaava, and I do a Sikandar, I wanted this one, very important story to have a voice, to be said. And the Girlfriend teaser came out yesterday, guys. I don't know if you guys have gotten the time to watch it, but that is such an important story to be told. And like, I just feel like it's a film that I did for my soul. It makes me happy. It makes me proud of myself, and it makes me extremely proud of the craft, and extremely proud of me being an actor today. And I can't reveal a lot from the story, of course, but it is a goddamn special film, guys. Like, I promise you.
And the teaser also had a voiceover of Vijay Deverakonda. What was the thought behind this? That has also been making all the noise on.
So that's an interesting thing, because one, he's not in the film. He's like supported us with his voice, of course. But what was interesting is that they actually cut this teaser out for my birthday. And I didn't know that he gave a voiceover. For me, it was a surprise. So like few days back when I got the teaser and I watched it, I was like, oh wait, but that's Vijay's voice. What is going on? But I think that sort of added a magical element to the teaser, because there's music and there's visuals and the direction. But like, his voice just, made it all the way more beautiful.
And, before we do a quick rapid fire and move on to the fan questions, there's
Okay.
one last thing. What's happening with Pushpa 3?
The Rampage. Well, again, not wanting to give any spoilers, but if you guys have seen how the film ends, well, people who have dates will survive. People who don't will not. Jokes apart, but it's really going to be a rampage. I'm curious and excited to see what he's going to create, what bigger and how better can he like portray what we've already portrayed in part 1 and part 2. And by then I hope I'm tenfolds the actor I am today, and
Sure.
give you guys some real thing to whistle and hoot for. Thank you. I promise to work hard. Thank
Okay.
you.
So now a quick rapid fire. You have to just describe your experience with working with the actors whom I name.
Okay.
Ranbir Kapoor,
Very easy to work with.
Allu Arjun,
Very intelligent actor.
Salman Khan,
A fun actor. Because there's so much fun on set. Like he cracks so many jokes and he's always in high spirits and it's just a nice time with him.
Vicky Kaushal,
He's a full masterclass on acting. He's such a good actor. It's incredible.
Vijay, Thalapathy Vijay,
Thalapathy Vijay, always a fan. I love him.
Vijay Deverakonda.
A constant support. Yay, I answered that well. Yay.
So now we'll open up for the fans. We
Okay.
have taken questions from them. You like these are the names. You can just take down, pick up a chit, and they'll stand up and ask the question.
All of them?
We'll pick 5 or 6, and yeah.
Kaushal.
Yes, ma'am. You already mentioned that originally you have done South Indian movies. Now you
Yes.
have moved on to Bollywood movies. So how has your evolution been from the South industry to the North Indian industry? And what are the differences you face and some of the challenges you face?
As an actor, I feel like there's a lot that has evolved over the years, but I don't think that's something to do with North Indian cinema or South Indian cinema. Now I just look at it as Indian cinema. And I like it that I am able to look at it as Indian cinema today, and so are the audience, because I feel like today the numbers are speaking for themselves, and no more is it language barrier or like regional barrier or any sort of geographical barrier. So that is very exciting for me. But today, when I see that I'm receiving love from every corner of the country, and in fact, even globally, it makes me extremely proud of the journey that I've had, and really happy with myself that I've worked hard enough to reach where I am today. And also gives me the responsibility to sort of mend my craft even more and go like crazy with it. That is one. And if you ask me the difference with North and South cinema, I don't like saying the terms North and South cinema, but if you're asking me the difference, as in, see, way before when this pan-India concept started, a film will have a Hindi director but a Telugu like DOP.
Yeah.
Or a Telugu film will have a Tamil DOP.
Right.
So there was already a merge happening. So it's never really what is the difference between a North and South. Of course, there's work hours, different work hours, and here they do 12-hour shift and there we do 9 to 6. So all of those technical stuff is there, but like I don't think there's any emotional or ethical differences between the North and South. So yeah,
Thank you so much.
thank you. Right. Dev. Hi, Dev.
I'm your huge fan.
Thank you.
Yeah. So my question is, like, I just saw Pushpa 2, and your performance was incredible in that.
Thank
but
you.
especially the monologue, I just loved it.
Yeah?
And as an actor, I would like to know what helped you, what techniques did you use in that helped you shape that mono act in that.
That
scene?
particular scene?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you exactly what I did. So, first thing what I did is when I got the lines, I made sure that my lines was inbuilt. So I practiced my lines at least 1,000 times. Like I got it the first day. I told Sukku sir that I can't do it in this, because I'm like scenes like that you can't just immediately do it or get into the mood and do it. You need to sleep over it, you need to mull over it, you need to do your research over it. So when I got my lines, I, without putting emotions to it, I practiced my lines. So it became my second nature. So on set, I wasn't thinking about the lines. That is one. Secondly, like all these scenes when I have like 3-4 pages ka dialogues na, what I do is I sleep over it. I'm playing these lines in my head constantly. Even if I'm talking to you, the lines are happening in my head. So I made sure that, like, I'm not some actor who can deliver the same take 6-7 times. I'm not a theater actor. I'm like, I will give my 100% emotion when I do the scene and I cut off from it. So you get it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you won't get it. And 7, 8, 9 again becomes a rehearsal. You know, that's how it goes. And I finished this scene in like 1, 2 takes. But it's the sleeping over it, remembering the lines, making these lines yourself, and of course listening to the director when, example, when she looks at this, that Mangal Sutra is there, no? Like, what do you say there? What do you call it? That black thread. Like once you get married, women wear this black
Mangal Sutra.
Mangal Sutra. So he told me that, okay, take that and, you know, play with it. So that is a director's input. He's like, take your Saree ka thing and do this and you do that. You know, all those body mannerisms, that is what director told me. But things like when that little girl comes and says, Pinamine, I'm like, hey, that is all me. I'm like, shut up. And now everything you have done and suddenly you've come and saying Pinama, Chinama and all of that. So, you know, it's a good mixture of what the director tells you and the good mixture of what you have to contribute. But make the lines your second nature so that you're not thinking about the lines. Sorry, I gave you one long bhashan, but this is what I did.
Happy about it.
Thank you. Shit, that scene was quite a...
It must have been a challenging scene.
Daksh. I'm gonna start. Sorry, I call you Daksh, but I'm gonna keep it up.
It's totally fine, ma'am.
Daksh. That's a very interesting name. What does it mean?
Daksh. It means smart, clever.
Oh, now you have a responsibility to ask a very smart question.
Sure, ma'am, sure. So firstly, I have to say this, ma'am, that you are looking really, really, really beautiful, ma'am.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you say this now, I'll be so conscious.
And also, ma'am, congratulations on the success of Pushpa 2.
Thank you.
So my question to you is, like, which is your favorite movie scene from the movie, and what was the audience reaction when you watched the movie with them in the theater?
My favorite scene, like the total film, not just me, but
Yes,
other
total
characters
film.
also. Okay, I'll tell you which one. I really loved the whole of Pushpa in his sari. I feel like that for me was ultimate cool. Like that's full swag. I loved that. And you know the scene where Pushpa and Shekhawat are conversing, but not with dialogues, but just like, you know,
The second half.
that the second half, I love that scene because I love it when we don't have dialogues. I love it when we are like acting with just our face or our body. It's like that's something I wanted to do. So I was telling Allu Arjun sir that, you know, can we have some scene in the film where Shivali and Pushpa are just looking at each other? You know exactly what I mean. I know exactly what you mean, and the audience can see it, what they mean. You know, but we don't have lines. We don't have dialogues. It's not performance. But sadly, we couldn't fit it in anywhere, of course. But I still want to do that. I want to achieve that. But when Shekhawat and Pushpa did it, I was like, that is something I wanted to do.
I think you got a
Madness.
scene for Pushpa 3 then. You can try for Pushpa 3.
No. Now Shekhawat and Pushpa have done it. Now I'll do it elsewhere.
And your personal favorite scene, like in which you are there?
Mine. One is Jathara, of course. Like I feel like that is Srivalli moment, and that is by far my favorite scene in any of my films. But another scene is her introduction where she, like when the brother-in-law says, ask their name and everything, and she's like, does God have name? You know, I feel like that is such a beautiful like scene for a character. It describes Srivalli in all her forms. You know, so I think that's one of my favorite scenes.
And I think there's one more scene in the second half where the CM comes home and for the first time you realize why he becomes the CM.
Yeah, and I just a birthday gift. Like, what is going on? Like, I'm just staring at him like that. Yeah.
कभी-कभी, like, and then the
That's
dialogue,
a
मुझे
cute
डर लगता है
scene.
आपसे कुछ मांगने के लिए.
Yeah.
And that's
It's-
also, yeah.
Yeah. He's just done the characters really beautifully. Yeah. Like, Kritika. Hi, Kritika.
Ma'am, so I love dancing.
Oh.
And obviously you dance really great. So it'll be like a pleasure to me if we can do Angaaron together.
Of course, I'm game,
Yeah?
bro. I
Okay,
love
let's
dancing. I enjoy dancing.